Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I decided to come out into the backyard now that the rains have stopped. It's been some heavy rains today because I have these flowers that I purchased, and I'm right now just in a conundrum because I love the rose and the hibiscus, and I like the sun patience as well. But as I sit here and I look at them, I'm like, the sun patience just don't match the rose and the hibiscus. Now, the rose and the hibiscus are like a pink, but it's not a pink. It's like a corally kind of pink. And the coral tones in it are very subtle, but they're beautiful, and I just love them. And I want to put them along the drive garden bed, the long border bed there, and I'm just like, oh, I have these sun patients and they don't match, so I have to find somewhere else to put them. Here is the rose. It's so gorgeous and it smells so good. It's called Big Mama, and it gets 5 to 6 feet tall and 4 feet wide. And then this is the hibiscus. So pretty. It's not as clear on the video of the shading, but it's so pretty. And it is called Pink Lady. Now, as far as the sun patients go, they're really down to their last stock at the garden center I went to, so I have to try another one. But that is more like a reddish pink, and this one is called Lilac. And the colors are pretty. It's just that they don't match the roses, and I was planning on putting them along the drive, but that plan is moot. So the rose and the hibiscus will go on the driveway, but I don't know. I'll take a look. Let's just take a look and see if we can make it work. So I'm putting the rose here at the kitchen windows, so when the windows open I can see it and smell it as it gets bigger. And what I plan to do with the hibiscus is flank this corner of the house with it. So it's gonna go, there's a sprinkler head right there, so I'm trying to place it where it's not exactly blocking the sprinkler. I mean, it will block it some. It's a shrub. As it gets bigger, it's gonna block it some, but I don't want it to be directly in front of it. So now that we have the shrubs placed, let's see what these look like. You know, the colors are really rich and vibrant. I don't know. Guys, tell me what you think. Do you think that they should go there? I'm just looking, and for me, I think it's a no. I don't think they match the rose and the hibiscus. So I think I'm going to have to find somewhere in the backyard to put these, and it's not going to be hard. There's plenty of places in the backyard to put them, but yeah, they're a no-go for the long border here along the drive. So what I'm going to do for now is just go ahead and plant the rose and the hibiscus, and I will look for either another color of the sun patience, or go with a totally different flower altogether, like the vinca, pink vincas. So we're gonna set those aside for now, and let's just get the hibiscus and the rose planted. So let's start with the rose right here in front of the kitchen window, and then we'll get the hibiscus planted, and that will be it for today because it looks like it wants to rain a little more. So we're going to try to finish up before the rains come again. One thing I want to say about my garden is that it is a very young garden. I love to watch gardening videos on YouTube. When HGTV was really hot, I loved watching that. But, when your garden is young, there's a lot of planting to do. It's not established, so a lot of the gardens that we look at when we look at garden tours and things like that, those are established gardens. I'm at the phase where there's a lot of planting that needs to be done. I have totally empty spaces, and I planting costs money. It can get expensive, gardening. So I have to do things as I can afford to buy stuff. And when I see sales, that's why I look for sales so much. Clearance plants, things like that. I know you can't get everything on sale, but I sure as heck try to do my best to get as much as I can on sale. And so I'm just in that planting phase right now where I've got to get things in the ground so, it can become this mature, full, lush garden. And, the garden tours and everything will really be much more spectacular at that point. So, as you guys are gardening with me and sharing this journey with me, I thank you. I also want to say thank you because we have reached 200 subscribers, and I didn't even set out with the thought of numbers of subscribers. I was mostly gardening because, friends and things like that, and family members, being here so far away from everyone else that we know who are in other parts of the country, back in our hometowns and things like that. They know that I love to garden, and when they come, they see the yard progressing, and they're like, oh, you should, do YouTube so we can, see what you're doing and get some ideas and stuff like that, because the yard is looking so good. So I really started it for sharing it with the people that I know. So for all of you who have subscribed, who are following, who are watching, who haven't subscribed but are following and watching, I thank you so much. I couldn't have imagined it, but 200 subscribers for me is a big deal, and I appreciate you guys, and I'm so thankful. And we're going to continue on this gardening journey together and learning as I go. But yes, just keep in mind, I have a very young garden. So many things are new, not even a year old, just a few months old. And so we're just in the planting phase. The other thing is that I have learned from living here in Texas with mosquitoes that just will tear you up, that it is best to try and get as much planting as I can get done during the month of March and early April, because by mid-April on, it tends to be hot, humid, and full of mosquitoes when you're working in the garden. And as it gets hotter and I try to get out and get more planting done and garden with you guys, you will see me wearing my it's like the hat with the netting on it, like you see when people go on safaris in the jungle. I will be wearing my hat with the netting because they bite my face, my arms, anything they can find, any part of your neck exposed. So yeah, I'm trying to get as much done as I can now before the mosquitoes take over the gardening space in my yard. So again, thank you guys who are following me and everything, and hopefully this gardening family of ours can grow, and just let's watch as this baby garden matures together. But there's still a lot more planting to do, and so let's just get these things in the ground, get some mulch out, and call it a day. the mulch that I have been using this season that I decided to try out is this black velvet mulch, and I have been getting it from the broken bag section as I have all the other mulches, and I have to say I really like it. I read about it because I don't use dyed mulches, but my husband loves black mulch, so you know, I wanted to try to find a black mulch that's natural. And you know, I learned from reading about this brand that the composting process, whatever it is that they use, that these are 100% just shredded wood chips, or just shredded wood that composts, and it composts naturally to a dark rich color, which, you know, we all know that if you let your debris like leaves and things like that compost, it will compost. If you leave it long enough, it'll be a nice rich black color. Well, this composting process that they use, their wood composts to a nice rich black color, so there are no dyes in it, so it is basically a combination of compost and shredded wood, and I'm liking it so far. And we'll see how it does it, how well it lasts, but that is what I read about it, so that is why I'm using it. It gives it satisfies my need to stay natural and organic as much as possible, and my husband's need to see that crisp black mulch, which I admit I like to see it too. But this is the finished product. This is the Rose Big Mama, which smells so good and is such a pretty rose. I just love this. And then on the far end here at the corner is the Hibiscus Pink Lady, which is also gorgeous. So that is it, guys, for today. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.